It's time to get pumped up for this Indianapolis Colts squad. From top to bottom, this roster is one of the best in the NFL. Chris Ballard, Frank Reich, and this Colts organization has done a fantastic job from turning the team around from last year, from a disastrous Carson Wentz end of the season, to a completely revamped, new attitude, and new energy to this Indianapolis Colts team, which is going to drive them to be one of the best teams in the NFL in 2022. You look through the team. This year to last year, this team has good players in every single spot. They have firepower at every single position. Offensive line, they have Quenton Nelson. They have Braden Smith. They have Ryan Kelly. All guys who are very capable. Pryor and Pinner are new, but they have proven that they can step up when needed. So we're going to see how well they perform. Well, Pryor is going to be alongside Nelson. Pinner is going to be in the middle of Kelly and Smith, two very talented offensive linemen. You look at the weapons. The weapons are so much better. So much better, it's not even funny. You have Alec Pierce, a kid from Cincinnati, 6'3", 211 pounds. The dude is fast. For how big he is, he's fast. And Matt Ryan is going to absolutely love throwing to him. And he's also going to love throwing to Michael Pitman Jr. on the other side, who we already know about. Michael Pitman Jr. is not one of the best wide receivers in the league, but he's definitely on the rise, and he makes so many big-time contested catches. He shows up in the biggest games, at the biggest moments of every game, and that's what you absolutely love to see in a young player. He could only go up from here. And then Parris Campbell. If Parris Campbell stays healthy, he will have 1,100-plus yards receiving if he stays healthy throughout the entire season. He is so talented. He knows how to run deep. He knows how to route run. He's got the hands. He's got the run after a catch. And a guy like Matt Ryan is going to absolutely take advantage of these guys. Don't forget, we have Mo Alley Cox and Jelani Woods, 6'7", 6'5" monsters. Mo Alley Cox can go up and make all the big-time catches. Jelani Woods, huge kid, big kid. We've seen Matt Ryan get a lot of tight ends their money. A lot of tight ends cash in with Matt Ryan. Jelani Woods, Mo Alley Cox already cashed in. Jelani Woods being a rookie working with Matt Ryan, no better place. No better quarterback to be working with than Matt Ryan when you're a tight end. And you look at the running backs, it doesn't end there. You have Jonathan Taylor, one of the most dynamic, if not the most dynamic running back in the league. Jonathan Taylor, give him the ball, he could take it to the crib. It doesn't matter when, where you give it to the ball, what quarter, what play, what down, doesn't matter. You get him the ball, and there's a good chance that he takes it to the crib for 6. Nyhiem Hines, the same thing. You get this kid the ball in the backfield, is not so great, between the tackles, between the guards. He's not so great on the interior, running in the interior. But when you give him the chance to go out and catch a pass from, the backfield, you put him in the slot, you just find ways to get him the ball too. He will find a way. When you get the ball into Nyhiem Hines' hands, he finds a way to make something good happen. Something always good happens. Don't forget Phillip Lindsay. Phillip Lindsay is an amazing running back that the Indianapolis Colts got. So freaking, they have to be so pumped up for this kid. So pumped up for this kid. He's so powerful. He's fast. He could juke. An undrafted rookie that made the Pro Bowl just a few years ago. And injuries have been a little bit of an issue, but that's okay. He's not going to be running a lot. But when he does, I expect him to make a big impact, and he will. Then you look at the rest of the wide receivers. You have guys like Ashton Dulin come in 2 or 3 times a game and run a few deep routes, maybe catch one once in a while. Desmond Pitman, who has been showing up, coaching staff. Everyone's raving about this kid. It's been a little while since he's been in the league. It's been about 2 years. Same year Michael Pittman came in, and he's starting to make an impact. He's starting to open some eyes. He's getting ready to take over that number 4. If Campbell gets hurt, Patman's going to step up, and Dulin's going to step up. They're kind of be like A and B at 3. Not necessarily just a slot, but those two could play wherever. Then, the hype does not calm down when you move over to the defensive side of the ball. You have former Defensive Player of the Year in Stephon Gilmore. You have a big-time rising talent in Isaiah Rodgers, who is one of the fastest corners in the league, has some better ball skills than some wide receivers in the NFL. He could come up and catch up with any wide receiver. He has had no issue struggling, no issue going, making a play on the ball. And in this offseason, we've heard, just the same thing with Desmond Patwin. We've heard only good things about him. And it's either two things with the cornerback or, anyone in training camp. If you're hearing things about him, it's either doing really good or really bad. And he's doing really good. It's on the good side of that. And then he's going to learn from Stephon Gilmore. Going to have a guy like Kenny Moore in the slot. And then don't forget, you come over to this defensive line. This defensive line is going to make their job so much easier as well. This defensive line is very talented. Very talented. You have Unique Ngakoue, Grover Stewart, DeForest Buckner, Kwitty Paye, Afidi Adangbo, Deo Adangbo. You have Brian Cox Jr. You have so many talented names. You have so many talented players on this Indianapolis Colts defense line. This is the best defensive line has been in over a decade. Kwitty Paye is going to make the big year 2 jump. You could see it. Gus Bradley loves the kid. Kwitty Paye is going to make a big difference. And it's going to take the ability away from other teams to be able to just double-team Buckner because you're not going to be able to. Paye or Ngakoue are going to feed. And don't forget about the man Grover Stewart. Grover Stewart is going to get the job done too. Absolutely love this defensive line. This defensive line is going to be strong. Unique Ngakoue is going to come off that edge. He's one of the big, he has a lot of production. A lot of production. He hasn't had one season with less than 8 sacks, I believe. Or it might be 6 sacks, but still. A lot of production. There's outfield issues, but you know what? This Colts team, this Colts core is built so strong it doesn't matter. If they were able to overcome a Carson Wentz situation, a Carson Wentz disaster last year, they're fine. They're fine. Unique Ngakoue is going to mess him up in case, he has some kind of, issue. But then it makes it even easier in the linebackers. You have Darius Leonard, Bobby Okereke, and Zaire Franklin. Zaire Franklin, kind of the weak spot of the 3, but he's still very good. Bobby Okereke, sideline to sideline. Darius Leonard, sideline to sideline. Darius Leonard forcing freaking 15, 16 turnovers himself, more than half the damn 32 teams in the National Football League. And man, oh man, it doesn't end there. You go to the back end. Safeties. It only gets even more exciting. You have Rodney McLeod. Now, a lot of people were upset when we took Rodney McLeod over Tyrann Mathieu. You ask me, the price that we got this kid at over Tyrann Mathieu might be just as good. He is so good, so smart. Character is insane, and you just love the kid. He is very good. And you have Julian Blackman waiting to come back from injury too, who finds a way to come back from injuries really early. He just recovers really fast. I hope he stays healthy. Then you have Nick Cross. When Chris Ballard trades up for a player, that should get you excited. A player that he traded up, he doesn't trade up at all. He traded up for the first time in a while last year. No, not last year, the year before. And who'd he get? He got Jonathan Taylor. So Chris Ballard has a good history trading up, getting a player. I'm super excited. I can't wait. I can't wait for this season. This Colts team is going to bring the juice. They're going to bring the energy. They're going to use that Jaguars game. They're going to use that late season collapse. They're going to come into training camp hungry. They're going to come into training camp. Can't wait for week 1. Can't wait to put a whooping on the Texans in Houston. And then you can't wait to beat Jacksonville. Get your revenge on Jacksonville in Jacksonville. 2 big monkeys to get off the back in the beginning of the season. And they absolutely could and will do that. I fully believe, they've been doing different things in training camp. They've been picking up the tempo. Frank Reich picked up the tempo in OTAs. They want to get ready for week 1. Matt Ryan will make sure that this team is ready for week 1. He will make sure that we will not lose his stupid little mistakes every week. They will be corrected. If we have some little mistakes last week, they're going to be corrected, and this Colts team is going to be ready to come out and fire every single freaking week. This team's going to be special next year. Matt Ryan's accuracy, Michael Pitman Jr.'s catching ability, Alec Pierce's raw ability just to run deep and catch the ball, Parris Campbell's ability to, his deep threat ability, the two monsters of Mo Alley Cox and Jelani Woods. Don't forget this nasty offensive line. Quenton Nelson leading the way. Jonathan Taylor, Nyhiem Hines. You look at the defense side of the ball. No more, the Colts need to find some consistency at the D-line. They got it. They're going to be able to get to the quarterback. They're going to be able to make that quarterback suffer. They're going to make that quarterback feel uncomfortable. Going to throw more interceptions to Isaiah Rodgers, Stephon Gilmore, Rodney McLeod, Nick Cross, and Darius Leonard. I am so freaking pumped up for this season, man. We have so much to look forward to. You guys let me know what you think. Because I know where this team is going. This team is going to have a big-time year. They're going to come out hot the first 2 weeks. Against the Chiefs, we're going to see what happens. I could see Jonathan Taylor having one of those games. Matt Ryan throwing when he needs to. This Colts team has a chance to legitimately go all the way this year. They have all the pieces. AFC is not going to be easy. It is a tough schedule to the playoffs, but you know what they say. The tougher the schedule to the playoffs, the easier the playoffs are. And I truly believe we're going to get to the playoffs. If we don't get to the playoffs, there's truly something wrong, but we are going to make the playoffs. So I thank you guys for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show. Where fans welcome. If you enjoyed this one, I had some heat on this one. I'm just releasing some energy on this one for this Indianapolis Colts team. I am so excited. Training camp is right around the corner. Season is right around the corner. It's going to be here before we know it. Yeah, July is the slowest month. But once we get out of July, ramps up. News keeps coming. Teams are getting ready. Teams are getting ready to hit. Teams are getting ready to fight. 32 teams. 18 weeks. 4 weeks in the playoffs. And 1 Lombardi trophy. And the Colts are coming for it.